representative of China for his statement, and I now invite the representative of Indonesia to take the floor.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Madam President. Thank you also the Special Envoy Martin Griffiths, OCHA USG Mark Lowcock, and David Beasley for your important updates, and of course Omar Badokon for the briefing that we will continue to hear. It's said that the conflict in Yemen has failed to improve, with the deteriorating economy and COVID-19 proving to be a deadly combination. It is inconceivable that the numbers facing acute food insecurity is expected to exceed 17 million this year, up from 15 million in 2019. Let me reiterate what my delegation has been saying in the past several months. First, only through a political process can the Yemenis shape the future they want and need. I completely agree with what Martin said just now, this morning, that at the end of the day, those that have to negotiate is the parties concerned. And our task here is to create a conducive environment for this to happen. We encourage you, Martin, to continue to bring them together. The option is there through the three special envoys proposal. The parties can choose a different path for their people, path that is without guns and bloodshed. The first step would be a nationwide ceasefire, accompanied by measures to restore the economy. The next step should be the resumption of an inclusive political process with the participation of women and youth. I would once again underline the importance of women participation in the peace process. We know all of this will take time, but the more protracted the conflict is, the more damage it will inflict, and the greater the suffering of the people. Indonesia therefore again reiterates the importance for all to expeditiously agree on the joint declaration and to resume dialogue on a comprehensive political settlement in line with the relevant United Nations Security Council resolution, including 2216. The full implementation of Riyadh Agreement is also crucial for allowing a more comprehensive political process. We therefore applaud the continuous efforts by the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to mediate the process. The second point, parties should exercise maximum restraint and protect the civilians. International humanitarian law was created to protect civilians in armed conflict. This is an obligation for all the parties to an armed conflict, wherever and wherever they are. The continuous attack of the Houthi in civilian areas in the cities of Marib, Taiz, and in Hodeidah violate international humanitarian law and must be condemned. We again urge the Houthi to stop targeting civilians and infrastructure. They must reduce violence and thus give space to measures that could support the peace process. The third point is the importance of access to humanitarian efforts, which should continue to be improved. Restriction to the humanitarian workers in the biggest humanitarian operation in the world is unacceptable. With the increased violence and COVID-19, the humanitarian agencies already have a very complicated job. They should be permitted to deliver the assistance to those in need quickly and safely. The 5 urgent priorities updated by Mark Lowcock are now extremely urgent as we do not have the luxury of time anymore. Mark and David Beasley gave a grim picture of what lies ahead for the children and population of Yemen due to famine, leading, as David mentioned, to catastrophic scenario. We need to act now with resources, with political solution. But most importantly, the concerned party must act to save their peoples. And on the Safar oil tankers, it is regrettable that the UN repair team is still denied access. We question whether there was ever any intention to allow this access. In view of the dangers, my delegation again urges expeditious access to the repair team. In conclusion, Madam President, I will not tire in repeating that the parties must take all necessary measures and in a timely fashion to prevent famine and further suffering of our Yemeni brothers and sisters. This is the leaders' obligation. This is the only way to restore to the people the hope and future which belongs to them. To close, allow me to quote from Dwight Eisenhower's Chances for Peace speech that is still relevant in the context of Yemen. I quote, "Every gun that is made, every warship launched, every rocket fired signifies, in the final sense, a theft from those who hunger and are not fed, those who are cold and are not clothed." Unquote. I thank you, Madam President.
I thank the representative of Indonesia for his statement, and I now give the floor to the representative of Germany.